So things are getting a lot more interesting when it comes to the Nintendo Switch 2, and it seems like the floodgates are going to be opening for the platform with new big AAA titles that has one game developer interviewer absolutely shocked that's going to be announced for the platform. So we're going to talk about that and a bunch of other great news, including the Pokemon Legends ZA DLC. We've got some new information on that, plus more. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. We're starting off with Reese Riley, Mr. Kiwi Talks. He talks a lot about a lot of different things. He actually has given some presentations on Nintendo gameplay design, in addition to reviewing a ton of developers out there. So I do think that he has some inside track on what's going to be happening for the platform. He's also a massive Metroid Prime fan. He's looking forward to Metroid Prime 4. So he had this to say recently, quote tweeting the Tomb Raider Definitive Edition shadow drop out of nowhere that we got recently. He quote tweeted that from Nintendo Everything and had this to say: "I've been saying for a while, 2026 is the year the floodgates for third parties open for Switch 2. You are starting to see the prelude to this. There is one game in particular next year that will be a what the F moment. I can't wait to see people's reactions when it happens. Haha." So it's interesting that he says something like this. Recently, I had a live stream where we talked about what game it could be, and I'll go over some of my predictions. So with Tomb Raider, you're seeing a game overall that's old at this point, came out in 2013, but people actually wanted on the Wii U back in the day, myself included. But the fact that they were able to just have this game randomly drop out of nowhere, I think you're going to see a lot more older games that skip the Wii U and maybe even the Nintendo Switch come over to the Nintendo Switch 2 and maybe even get a Switch 1 port like we saw with Tomb Raider here. I'd expect more titles, some of these older games, because it's a quick buck, to be honest. I think Tomb Raider, there was already a number of people that just picked it up. It was only $17, $18 with a 10% discount. And if you already had some of the Tomb Raider remasters digital on the Nintendo Switch 1, you got a discount on this one. So I would expect to see more older Xbox 360, PS4 titles come over in this type of way, just randomly dropped out of nowhere. And of course, bigger third-party games. We've already got the new 007 game, First Light. That's going to be coming over. There's talks about GTA 6 as well, although that's not the game that Mr. Kiwi Talks is talking about when it comes to one that's the WTF moment overall. It's not Grand Theft Auto 6, even though there was some talk about that. And I do think that there's going to be a bunch of other titles as well. We still need to get Borderlands. That was delayed. We also need to get Elden Ring. That was delayed into 2026. And I do think there's going to be a lot more ported over. We saw stuff like Dragon Ball Sparking Zero get a late port on the Nintendo Switch 2. And there's going to be more overall. But what is the game that he's talking about that's the WTF moment? Now, some people are thinking that it has to be something that is completely wild and out there, but we don't know what his opinion of a WTF is compared to other people's opinions. Some people in my chat were saying, oh, well, it's going to be Final Fantasy 16, or it's going to be The Witcher 4. And to me, those aren't really WTF. And the reason why I say The Witcher 4 or Final Fantasy isn't is because we've already got confirmed Final Fantasy 7 Remake, Intergrade, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, Final Fantasy 7 Remake Part 3. All of those are already confirmed. So if they're doing those big AAA types of games on the Nintendo Switch 2, and it's already Final Fantasy, if Final Fantasy 16 came over, I wouldn't be shocked at all. That's not one in my opinion. Next up would be The Witcher. Yes, that'd be a crazy game to have on the Nintendo Switch 2, but would it really be that crazy? They ported over The Witcher 3, which people thought was impossible to put on the Nintendo Switch 1, considering it ran pretty rough on the PS4 and Xbox One back in 2015, yet they were able to port The Witcher 3 over to the Nintendo Switch 1. So I wouldn't really be too shocked if they're able to port The Witcher 4 to the Nintendo Switch 2. Plus we got Cyberpunk and the DLC, and that DLC was not on the PS4 or Xbox One. That was a PS5, Xbox Series, and PC exclusive with the Phantom Liberty, and they got that part on the Nintendo Switch 2. So The Witcher 4 wouldn't really shock or surprise me either. So people were actually moving over that it's going to be something like Horizon. It's going to be a first-party Sony game, but I'm really hesitant to believe that right now because of what Sony said and the Japanese market. Horizon is one of the bigger IPs that Sony still does have for first-party wise in Japan. For the PlayStation 5, they just announced a digital price cut. I'm not sure if they're going to want to put one of their biggest IPs that actually has a bit of traction in Japan to put that on the rival system that's doing incredible right now. So that would be a WTF moment if it was Horizon. I'm not sure if that's the game that he's talking about overall, but that would be absolutely crazy. And I'm telling you, Twitter would implode. It could be the basic Horizon Zero Dawn from the PlayStation 4 back in 2017, and I think Twitter would absolutely explode considering everything that PlayStation fans have said about exclusivity and of course what's just been happening in the industry with Microsoft and all that. It's wild because we saw what happened when Helldivers came out to Xbox. People were absolutely livid when it comes to some of that, but most were actually normal. But yeah, I do think that the game maybe is something crazy, so we will see. I'm not sure what game that would make me go WTF overall, just because I expect a lot of big third-party games, not everything, but there's not really anything that would really shock me too much unless it was some type of PlayStation exclusive. That's the only thing, or more like console exclusive for PlayStation, like first-party game. That's the only thing that would be a WTF moment for me. Nothing else would really shock me too much, so we'll see what it ultimately ends up being overall. And yeah, I expect the Nintendo Directs for next year to be full of great third-party games here and there. So what do you guys think about what Mr. Kiwi Talks had to say here? Let me know in the comment section below. But before we get to the next topic, please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you are someone new, and click that notification bell to get my videos as soon as they drop. All right, let's go ahead and jump into this next thing here because we do have the next information on Pokemon Legends ZA DLC Mega Dimension. We've got the reveal of Mega Zororia. So this newly discovered Mega Evolved Pokemon has appeared. So publisher, the Pokemon Company developer Game Freak, have released a new trailer and screenshots for Pokemon Legends ZA downloadable content Mega Dimension, introducing the Mega Evolved Pokemon Mega Zororia. The latest details on it. This is the Thunderclap Pokemon overall. It's electric, just base electric Pokemon. 4'11", 98 pounds, and the electric energy it's stored in its body is equivalent to 10 bolts of lightning. Protrusions on its forehead, chest, and the backs of its hands are where the electric energy is particularly concentrated. The protrusions steadily emit a pale blue light. Downloadable content Mega Dimension is due out on December 10th for $29.99 or 3,000 yen. And you guys are checking out this brand new trailer as well. So luckily for me, at least, I actually already wrapped up, finished, beat everything pretty much in Pokemon Legends ZA on the Nintendo Switch 2. Now, on the Nintendo Switch 1, it's harder for me to recommend considering the frame rate and kind of how it looks, but on the Nintendo Switch 2, I do think that it's a pretty solid experience at 60 frames per second most of the time. Resolution's better, graphics are a little bit better, still not incredible overall, and they definitely could have done better when it comes to the graphics, but I do think that the gameplay in the game is fantastic. The design and some of the art necessarily isn't great either with the buildings, flat textures, but overall, I had a blast with this game. I think it's actually really fun. I would give it like an 8 out of 10 overall. I think it's right around there. I really enjoyed the ending sequence to the game. I felt the story really picked up in the second half of it, and the action combat in the game with the cooldowns was really fun. It was cool to customize your Pokemon and kind of get different customization between what Pokemon you want to have in your lineup and how the moves work in an action RPG, in addition to having some of the mega battles that were in there. And just Mega Evolution overall is probably the best new gimmick that the Pokemon Company has done, and I really like the Mega Evolutions in this game. I think it's fun to do them, and it's just fun to explore Lumio City as well. I had a blast going through the rooftops and underground in the sewers and some of the different stuff in the game, so I felt that it's a solid experience overall. We'll see if this DLC actually ends up being worth it, so we'll see what it adds. We'll see how much new content that it puts to there, how much new, I would say, side quests and other things. So if it offers quite a bit of side quests and content, then I think it might be worth it, but I'm gonna have to wait and see till I actually play it myself overall. But what do you guys think when it comes to the Mega Dimensions DLC that they're doing here and this new Pokemon as well? December 10th Let me know in the comment section below. All right, next up is Tales of Berseria Remastered. We've got a PS5, Xbox Series, Nintendo Switch, and PC versions incoming, and it's due out February 27, 2026. I think that is the same day as Resident Evil 7, 8, and 9 Requiem when it comes down to that on the Nintendo Switch 2, and there's no native Switch 2 version. That is a huge mistake in my opinion of this, because we do have the official specifications for how you're going to be able to play this game, and unfortunately it's going to be like some of the previous remasters that Bandai Namco has done, where it's not a uncapped frame rate, it's locked 30 FPS. So therefore, if you play the Switch 1 version on Switch 2, you still just get that 30 FPS. So that's very unfortunate, and I do think it might be because of the developer, because I'm reading the read-up here and it says that the developer is called DAG, and I have never heard of who this is, so I'm guessing they did not have Switch 2 development kits when they were making this game. So Tales of Berseria Remastered, PS5, Xbox Series, Switch, and PC via Steam. 26th in Japan, 27th worldwide. It's going to be $40 for the game. There's going to be a deluxe version of the game for $60. You're going to get all this stuff in the standard and deluxe versions of the game. And this is one of the better Tales of games out there from what I've played and from what people talk about, especially big Tales fans. People really love the main character of Tales of Berseria. They like the combat overall. They think that it's a really good game. So I do want to read off some of the stuff when it comes to the key features and the about when it comes to Tales of Berseria. So this game does return with enhanced graphics and optimized gameplay. You can engage in the ultimate quest for self-discovery, remastered for the first time. The Sacred Kingdom awaits the arrival of its savior, and lone woman named Velvet is marked by traumatic deceit. Join Velvet on her journey for vengeance along with her cast of eccentric companions as they sail through the land which comprises the Kingdom of Midgand. Now here are the key features: a tale of emotion versus reason, exhilarating combat system where you can freely choose arts to suit your playstyle, perform a variety of combos, collect enemy souls to unleash a barrage of attacks, or a thrilling battle experience, modern, high-quality retelling. So useful features like the destination markers and the ability to disable enemy encounters make traversing the islands of Midgand all more exciting. Visit the famous grade shop from the game's opening, get a smooth play experience only found in this remaster. You can also access downloadable content from the first iteration. This version features several downloadable content from the original 2016 version. A treasure trove of content awaits you, such as outfits for your characters from the previous Tales of games, along with useful equipment for your travels. And you guys are checking out this trailer as well. Looks great. It's going to run at 4K 60 on the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series and PC, if you have a PC that's good enough to run it like that. But unfortunately, once again, they messed up on the Switch version because it's not an uncapped frame rate from what I understand. So I'm really hoping that we get some free updates for these Tales of games that are coming out. This is the reason why I haven't been purchasing them. I'd love to be able to play the Tales of games on the Switch 2 with a 60 FPS and have it in better quality, but unfortunately they're capping them at that. So once they actually get some updates to that, I think I'll actually start buying some of these Tales of remakes that they're doing or remasters that they're doing. But until then, I'm just going to have to wait, because a Tales of game to me is a title that I want to just play portable. Do not want to sit in front of a TV and play that. So I'll wait till they actually get those done, if they ever do. So what do you guys think about Tales of Berseria Remastered coming over February 27th? Let me know in the comment section below. And we have another title out of nowhere when it comes down to a game that's finally returning to a Nintendo platform, and that's PGA Tour 2K25. So publisher 2K, developer HB Studios will release the Switch 2 version of PGA Tour 2K25 on February 6, 2026, the company's announced. Now, PGA Tour 2K25 first launched for the PS5, Xbox Series, PC via Steam on February 28th, 2025. And I totally forgot that this game even came out. I do not play golf games, guys, so I'm sorry about that. But let's go ahead and talk a little bit more about what this game is about. So here are the key features. Grab a club and a friend. Multiplayer match types include match play, scramble, or skins, local or online. Earn season rewards in daily and weekly tournaments. Compete with friends whenever they play with cross-platform societies. You have the feel reel. The new Evo swing mechanics give more club control than ever. Swing your swing and play your game with new shot types, ball flights, roll physics, and visual improvements. make history in major tournaments. My career and my player your way as well. Apparently this is going to be an immersive my career, dynamically simulate rounds and play through training and pre-tournament events. Be your authentic self in my player with diverse customizations, upgraded skill trees, plus new attribute point and equipment progression systems. Seasons are back and better than ever, and you can unleash your inner course architect as well. You can design courses in this game, so that's actually pretty cool as well. So it's great to see, one, Tiger Woods actually holding a Nintendo Switch 2. That is awesome. That is great promotion just right there. So that is awesome that they actually decided to take the time to port this over, even though it is a late port. It came out a number of months ago. The fact that they want to get it over so that there's value in the Nintendo Switch 2 system and having a golf game anywhere that you want. This might be the preferable way that I would even play a golf game, because sitting down in front of a TV and playing a golf game is something that I don't think that I want to do, or at least I did it before, but I haven't really done it anytime soon. Last time I think was Mario Golf, the Mario Golf on the Switch 1, but I really was just streaming that. I played it portable for the most part when I'm watching like NFL or I'm watching basketball or something like that, because I don't sit down and focus on golf games overall. So this seems like a portable type of game to me that I would play. So pretty cool. I might check it out, probably get a review code for it and see how it plays on the Nintendo Switch 2. So what do you guys think about all the different topics that we went over here? A lot of good content. Let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and check out my other Nintendo Switch 2 RPG content and more right here on screen. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace.